Ta da da dee da dum ba da da dee da dum ba da da dee ba dum boom beam ba da ba. Let's go, Coast of Concordia! Woo!
The Costa Concordia.
Let's go!
Ship of dreams.
Yes.
It's been
Hi.
8
Hi.
years. I can still smell the buffets from their 5
Thank you for the
restaurants.
biddies. Thank you.
The casino and 3-story theater had hardly
What is the quality? Oh, I guess it's just 1p.
been used. Ah, the gym,
Internet
the
historian.
day spa, the sheets in her 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even been slept
Oh well.
in. Costa Concordia cost $570 million to build. And you could tell. You could really
You're here. There's nothing I fear. Ah, okay.
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had
Wow.
left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey.
Okay.
But that ship, she was cursed.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing. A
That's already a bad omen, chat. What the heck?
bad omen.
But I'm not the superstitious.
Oh my god! Bad omen!
Nothing could go wrong on Friday the 13th of January 2012,
On the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic, on a ship that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding, especially not when you have a 5-star max-level captain like Francisco Schettino, a man who mysteriously rose from head of security
Yes.
to the
Wee, wee.
position of
Ninja,
captain
thank you.
within just a couple of years.
He knows exactly what to do in case of an emergency.
This man kind of looks like, I feel like, someone I have seen before. Who does he look like, Chad? Doesn't he kind of look... Is it an actor? He looks like some... I feel like I've seen this face before. I don't know. David Hasselhoff? I don't know what he looks like. I'll think about it.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008,
Is it
when he crashed
Elvis?
into a port
Maybe
in
he kind of looks
Sicily.
like Elvis.
And in 2010, in Vernon, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision.
Wait a second. Wait a damn minute.
Germany, when he was steering a
Italy shipwreck captain crashed before in 2010 report. This one. Oh, there's no footage, so here's a scene. Oh. Oh, so this is not even a real picture? Look, it sure does look real though.
steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision. I've got a good feeling about this. So let's set the scene.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slide.
I'm still reading.
Drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant.
Oh, nice.
Martin the magician is setting up for his show.
Let's
And
go,
the
Martin.
ship is setting up for a little detour. It's called a sail by salute. Basically,
Cat.
you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition. Schettino, the captain, comes into the dining hall with a lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face
shit.
because you'll be seeing a lot of it later.
All right, remember that
Schettino
face,
eats
chat.
his dinner with her and socializes for a little while.
Huh?
Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge at Sail by Salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do. Schettino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive
Look at that,
ship,
a man of
and
many
he's very
professions,
excited.
chat.
At least, we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start. The
Well, how do they communicate with him if he doesn't speak any... Who? And is anyone able to speak with this man? Why is he there?
Second in command orders the helmsman to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time,
Okay.
the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives.
Mario Palumbo is the reason for the sail-by-sail salute. He essentially came up with the idea. He's not on Giglio at the time. He's in Grosseto. Oh, why is he so angry? Damn, he's gonna fly away with those
On the
ears.
island.
Hi,
They chat
Sunbees.
about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual.
Oh, Giglio.
Anyway, Mario says that the
Not
safe
Giglio.
distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail-by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before. The captain's eyeballing it again.
Why?
New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman.
Wait, can I ask you guys, where were they going? Where were they going that he decided he wants to go close to the shore? Oh, is he just like, yeah, I mean, we might be going over here, but I want to do a drive-by salute or a sail-by salute. What's the reason? He wanted to show how big his dick was. Oh.
Downstairs, Martin is
You
about
know what,
to cut
Valid?
his
I'd do the
assistant
same.
in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady
This is
inside
not
this
wife.
box. She's
Does he
waiting for
have
the
a
cue,
wife?
And then she'll poke her legs out.
Oh, they're common.
The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to...
I just have to say the internet has ruined me. The internet has truly ruined me. If you know, you know. But that's all I'm gonna say.
be a fatal error. But before we talk about
And
that,
if you know,
let's talk about another
the
big
internet
problem.
has ruined you
Language
as well.
barrier. Because at this
we're
point, the
both
captain
ruined.
says 325, but the helmsman relays 315.
What?
So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335. Wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are.
I don't
However,
have one.
the captain
I have
should and
what is
would
a
know this,
barb?
except for the next problem, complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that. 330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship
Okay,
reaches
so far
16
so
knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Schettino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The Costa Concordia, right now,
They're in the
is
danger
almost
zone.
700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct collision.
No.
Schettino immediately commands the ship to start turning away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at
Oh,
327.
no.
Not nearly enough
Chad,
to miss
it's a
the rock.
disaster.
And oh no, it's
It's
about
a
to
mess.
get worse.
It's a disaster. No,
That
they didn't
language
slow
barrier again.
down.
In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells,
Chad, this is a
midship,
huge
which centers
mess.
the rudder. The
Do you think that man, the other captain, is watching from shore like, oh shit, All this for a salute? He's probably standing at the cliff ready to say hi. And he's just standing there watching like, uh-oh, uh-oh. He wasn't even there? Who's he saying hi to? The seagulls?
Bow is now less than 150 meters
Good
from Skull
morning.
Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later.
Right, truly.
Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no.
Uh-oh.
One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard.
Bruh. Seriously? Who hired this guy?
Undoing
Bruh.
the swing. 8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late.
Yeah,
he
it's
has
goddamn
just
too
turned
late.
a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells,
Thank
"We're
you,
gonna
Charlie. Thank you.
hit!" Collision.
Uh-oh. Chad, it's a mess! It's a disaster! Oh, God. It's so over. I'm Bushu. The noodles flying. What's Edvin?
Downtown, Nordtown.
Oh, ad.
It's day 56 of playing Russian roulette. Seems I never win.
Gonna drink all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
I
Hi,
hear you're a man
Kanta.
who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella. I gots to find him. It's breaking my little heart.
I'll see what I can do. I have contacts in thousands of
hate
servers
when that
in dozens
happens.
of countries across the globe. And just like that, she was gone. The only thing she left was a calling card. Sometimes when you follow a case, it follows you back.
Oh,
NordVPN can protect my online data. And who can protect me? From myself. When they said this job gets easier, it was just another lie. Forensics found his password spread all the way down the block. No. In a perfect world, we'd all use NordVPN. But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop. I took the steering wheel out too.
He's nuts.
I let the road take
This
me
is a
where I'm
funny
supposed to
ad.
be. That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead.
No!
Merry Christmas.
Oh, God.
Go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a huge discount to your plan.
Oh, her husband's dead. F.
Add over.
Thanks.
The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in.
Uh-oh.
A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm,
Chad, what would you do? What would you do? You're on a nice, peaceful cruise. You're enjoying yourself, thinking you're on a vacation, and all of a sudden you hear these noises. Why is she here? Go away, woman! Yeah, I'd be so scared. I'd be like, shit.
is panic.
Get the life
Rumblings in the
jackets
dining
ready.
room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside
Let me
is
out, let
trapped
me
and
out.
terrified. There's confusion across the ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess
Oh,
damage.
God.
On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift. Close the watertight
Oh,
doors
God,
at
they're
stern.
adrift.
Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding.
What?
22 seconds later, a blackout happens.
Oh,
Lights,
my...
electrics,
Chad, that's
water pumps too.
terrifying.
Everything.
That's
The captain
terrifying.
orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that, too, is lost.
Oh,
The
no.
Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness.
Oh God. If you guys have ever been on a ship at night, it's actually terrifying. It's pitch black out there. And imagine all the lights are off on the ship as well. You are in pitch blackness. It's so dark. That must be really, really scary.
A quick breakdown of the flooding.
I've never been on like a cruise ship, but I was on a ferry.
When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments. At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly
you
after.
don't see a thing
then
out
7,
there.
8, and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment
at
breaches.
night.
These compartments especially, though, are a problem. They contain
It was
the engines
overnight.
and the electrics. These main generators give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage.
Oh, it's right. It's
A few
sinking
seconds
as
later,
well.
the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on.
I quite liked it. It was cozy. I get
When
seasick
the lights come
though.
back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a huge panic in the theatre as passengers are trying to flee to
It was
their
his
cabins
magic
and to muster
trick!
stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins.
Oh, jeez.
The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12, which is jammed. The
Bruh.
captain calls Pilon, the chief engineer.
everything
as the
could go
ship
wrong,
begins
it's
to list
literally
on the
going
port
wrong.
Side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing
Seriously,
panic.
Matt, that's
On the
scary.
bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout.
Is that okay to lie about something like that, chat? I feel like okay. I feel like in every face of disaster, it's classic move, I think. In the face of disaster, everyone always tells you to stay calm, don't they? Yeah, to reduce panic. I feel like it happens all the time. They probably did the same thing on Titanic as well. Bye, rather surprised cat, good night. They're probably like, it's fine, guys, don't worry. Meanwhile, the ship is split in half.
The deputy chief engineer enters the
Yeah,
engine
probably in the
control room.
handbook.
He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
The captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the
Right. Under control. Uh-huh.
situation and will inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Is that real audio
Coincidentally,
footage?
at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation.
Oh,
The
my
captain calls the
heart
Costa
will
Crisis
go-
Unit, Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine.
Yeah, forehead,
Hoist
where...
the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible.
Yeah, this is good, this is
A
good.
panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise.
Is this real video footage? Hi, Wimp. I'm just trying... Yes. Okay, imagine you're chilling. And on the speakers comes, no panic, guys, just power outage. And then, this is happening. This is happening.
Noise, and now the ship is tilting.
This
so
mess and
she
this
contacts
disaster.
her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between
Is this a good
Pilon
thing?
and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything.
Ooh.
They're saying at this point that the ship is going down.
Sinking.
The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again.
Yeah, super dark.
Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger.
3!
Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on?
Well, why the heck is the captain lying? I mean, to the harbor master, you would think that he would lie to the people on board so they don't panic, but why to these people who can help you? Bruh.
About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests? It's just a blackout. I gotta go. The harbour master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on.
He
calls
better
the
be
patrol boats to the
suspicious.
area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions like, "Is it still flooded?" Yes. Yes, it is.
Panic.
The captain is essentially in denial of the
Rockstar,
situation.
thank you for 8 months.
The harbour master calls again.
Thank you.
Finally, he says, "The ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side, and the
Oh,
ship
finally
is
he tells the
listing."
truth.
He qualifies with, "No one dead or injured." The harbour master asks if he needs help.
Bruh.
"Just a tugboat."
I
When in
spoke too
reality,
soon.
they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad, and they are not going to improve. The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the sea. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, "Everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem."
Ain't no way.
She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense.
Yeah,
and they're busy
good,
figuring out
good.
how to abandon ship. Bang, 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 bang.
At least they have their
Local
life
television
jackets
has
on.
already picked up the story and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge. Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, "No, stay. We're leaving." So what do? General emergency? The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandon ship! Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Abandon ship?
please, the situation is under control. Please remain.
Right. So they are abandoning ship. But apparently the situation is under control. Oh no, no,
But at
no.
this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the
This is
final
a
time.
huge disaster, Chad.
The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh,
Wait. Wow. It do be sinking.
perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity.
Oh,
And it begins
jeez.
heavily listing
Oh
starboard.
my-
The captain issues
oh
a general
my
emergency on board.
God.
The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out. And with that comes panic.
It's a mess.
And now that
It's a
they're
disaster.
listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't
Oh,
enough readily
no.
available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating.
He's
in fact,
still
we're trying to maneuver it onto the
lying!
shore." They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless. The deputy mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold.
Oh yeah, this
As
is
the
a
first
huge
of the lifeboats
mess.
arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and
He
starts
went
helping
on the
passengers.
boat. Oh my god, chat.
Schettino tells everyone to
Brave
leave
man.
and take radios,
I'm Bagel.
but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit.
Ah,
Priorities.
okay.
Dimitri Christidis and Silvia Coronica leave with him.
Alright.
The maitre d' and Sir Morton both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Millet reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south.
Uh-oh.
Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's
I don't know who
black box
that is,
stops
Element.
working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water.
Oh right,
Passengers are
it's
scaling down the
sinking.
port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke anymore.
Hi, cooler boy.
Yes.
You're not
Yeah,
allowed to make
that's
a
true.
film
I'm
movie.
allowed.
Who say you are?
A second helicopter, a faster model,
I am
sets
allowed.
off. The ship
Who
stops
said?
heeling and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learned that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. Ooh, I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate. But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara. And among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped
Scumbag captain, what the
anyone
heck?
while he was there. And in fact, the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescue.
Oh my god, this man.
A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life. Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel.
He should go to jail.
The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
This man cannot stop lying. Who? This man. I didn't know that the captain is usually last to abandon ship. I didn't know. I didn't know that was like a rule.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to
They
exit their cabin.
slept through
The
it.
last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director.
No.
In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic.
That's
And then
oh,
there's
there's
the ship.
more?
This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over.
There goes
in the ocean.
$500 million, chat. Holy. Was it 530 million? 70. Jeez. That's so crazy that that couple was just sleeping through the whole thing. What would you do? You wake up and your ship has crashed and you're waiting to be rescued. What a... You must be a really heavy... I'm such a light sleeper, chat. I hear a mosquito fly past my ear and I'm awake in a heartbeat. Ew, is that mold? Look at all that mold! Ugh. Bruh.
But this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point.
Huh.
What most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in. There they are. The deets.
The deets. The spaghetti. Whoa.
Blue box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings.
Hell yeah.
And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone. Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino.
I swear, people waste no time for this kind of thing, chat. They were really like, okay, this disaster may have happened 5 seconds ago, but I'm going in.
Cash
Time to
registers,
loot.
jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who steals a big
who took the bell?
Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship.
No.
A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy
You took
suites
the bell.
with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving and pinching. Later on,
As they
stolen
should
as well
be.
as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought-after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some
I am not
Australian guy even
surprised.
made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect.
The whole ship, 57 bids. How are you gonna sell the whole ship?
And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Yeah, only 1,000.
I know you want to see Schettino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Dominika
Oh, right,
Samort.
this woman.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was
The
no
drama.
romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Morton also loved the spotlight, however.
Everyone, oh look!
And took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted
course.
upon her, she began
Of
making
course,
ominous threats to Schettino, saying he must confess.
I give you just 1 week to tell the truth about what happened immediately after you did the announcement to abandon ship. 1 week! So they must have had an argument. They must have had a fight. Maybe he was like, Dominica, I'm not leaving my wife for you. And she's like, all right, it's time to go to Facebook.
Yes, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Sir Morton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package?
Bring back loot boxes to Overwatch!
Drugs, apparently. So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia. And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Schettino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were
Cocaine!
found. How did we get here? Oh right, a helicopter. Sir Morton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin where they found Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing.
No! Oh, no. Ooh.
As well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Sir Morton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony. The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Nipples to the wind!
Shut up!
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
So she's also a liar.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? Schettino cheated on his wife with Seymour. Oh my god!
She and Schettino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket and didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover.
He should have gotten off last.
Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she...
What? She said a lot without saying anything at all. What?
She used her fame in Moldova to become a political activist,
What did she mean
often
by
appearing
that?
on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
Oh, she is sassy! What is she? Oh my god!
It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
The average
yada, yada,
VTuber.
yada. And interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia. Sure. Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh god, not again.
Where does she? Please let me know what plane she's flying so I can avoid it at all costs. Is this a plane? Is it a boat? Whatever it is. Please let me know whatever this is.
And
Bruh! Oh, it's a boat?
several civil suits were quickly lodged
a
against
plane?
Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Dump it.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was...
claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route.
Oh
But
my-
that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail-by salutes. Now, in response
Where
to the
is the
civil
truth,
suits, Costa
Chad? I
Crociere offered
swear-
passengers 11,000 euros
Where-
each as compensation.
Everything is a lie.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And
No, there is
that
no
was supposed to
truth.
release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Tell him.
Take it. Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
How are you?
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole
course.
thing. They've washed their hands of the incident
Of course,
and flecked
chat,
the
money
residual
talks.
droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members.
Money
Passengers and
talks.
relatives of the dead
A
are livid that
million.
the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of 11,000 joined civil parties against Schettino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded 30,000 euros each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
That's not gonna... Chat, no amount of money is going to reduce your trauma or anything. You know? I think the best thing would have probably been for them to see more justice, and I think that would have made people more happy, but I mean...
New York attorney Peter Rene traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Rene & we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana.
Why do they
so
look
Mr.
the
Rene
same?
agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. But Costa is known
It's
for having
hideous.
stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch!
Still, Mr. Rene was
Gross!
suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Rene inquired further about why she was on board, especially
6
without a
months.
ticket.
I've not
Ilona
seen
said,
it,
Well, I
feel
don't
like.
know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details.
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Rene was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth?
Thank you for continuing.
This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Rene hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Ahoy hoy, it was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all.
Bruh.
Huh. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh.
Bruh.
Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Rene said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Rene met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle. And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injury.
Unmute.
old
Thank
Petey.
you for 10
I'm beginning to
months.
think they weren't even on the boat. Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum.
They weren't
it's
even
just
on
a
the
neighbor.
boat.
Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
The law firm that never sleeps. Call 1-800-66.
Do they have laws against tax fraud?
Oh,
that's a bad idea. That's a very bad idea.
Oh my. Some people are so dumb. Vada a bordo.
Would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course.
Means get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Schettino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Schettino to go down with the ship.
Wow.
And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast.
Oh my god. Hey.
When the captain first reported just a blackout, De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue
Good,
effort,
call him
which likely
everywhere.
saved several
Message
lives.
him on Twitter too.
His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014,
No way.
without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? You've been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. De Falco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more
To be
maturity
demoted?
and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's
Yeah, you've been. Oh, so let's leave. Oh, okay.
leave that alone.
No worries,
And
we'll
anyway,
leave it
in
alone.
2018,
Anyway.
De Falco said Buenos noches, y later to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate.
His boss got mad that he got merch and the boss didn't. That's it. He was like, ain't no way a man beneath me is a sensation and has merch. Nuh-uh. Demoted.
Serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
Okay. Happy ending in the end for him. It was. Oh. He was mad.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it
Is he
says. I don't speak
sleeping with
Italian.
her too?
But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting
Oh my
Hold on, I got
god.
it. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So,
He's
Schettino
a
and 5
risk
others are facing
machine.
criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the
Riz-
court.
he's a
And all of those plea
gooning.
bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences
He's literally
are
the
that they
gooning he
must
wrote.
provide witness testimony against Schettino.
He touched me.
A woman, not my wife. Gooning.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service
Oh,
or house
wow.
arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. A good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
What was she standing up there in her lingerie? How was he getting distracted by his mistress? I'm confused. You're the captain of a ship. How? What?
That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn. And he said, Lamau XD, because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Wait, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped again. And he hasn't been found since. After that, Ferrarini gave his testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty! Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison. But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal?
Denied?
Surprise! Rejected. So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Rejected?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal, but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated,
imagine if the technology that we had for this didn't exist. It could, like, many more people could have passed. Also, imagine how all of the lives could have probably been saved if he didn't lie. You know? What? He deserves that.
He was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
It took 5 years for him to go to prison.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly.
That's crazy, chat. Look at the difference. Like, look what being in the water... Like, this side looks fine, but the other side really eroded.
By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced.
It's
it
crazy,
now rested
like half.
partially above water, and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons, and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper.
I thought he was in jail! Oh, while under house arrest before he went to prison. Oh, I was about to say, where is he partying? In prison?
Flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
This man is a gooner. I swear. Where's his wife? Please. Who is his wife and where is his wife? That he's pictured with women all the time. Does she not care? The end. That's it, boys.
Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia.
Thanks for watching.